The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
What's your name?
5 cents worth of silver.
Bev Marsh.
This
Bev
one is
Marsh?
10 cents
Looks
worth
like
of
you're
silver.
sewing.
We had
That's
a
a real
quarter.
sewing machine?
That is a real
That's
sewing
a half
machine, though
dollar.
today I'm not really using it
Then they
except to
made
show people how it
50
works,
cents, and then
because I'm
$4
hand
in
sewing
silver.
a period copy of a uniform,
Wow.
and
Until
I'm not enjoying it, put it that way.
The U.S.
It's
government
tedious.
didn't
It's very
print money,
tedious,
they
yes.
just made coins.
Now, is this
banks
used more for the quilts or?
Oh no, this was a practical everyday sewing machine.
Oh, okay.
The big difference before the sewing machine,
Right.
and there's an exhibit in Harpers Ferry, Virginia, that has a machine just like this. It says, sew this man's shirt by hand, and it has 20-some hours listed to take time to take that. Use this machine and you could do it in less than
We
2.
had a coin.
Oh, isn't that
Oh, you
great?
got those
So that's why they caught
I
on
wish I
so
did.
quickly
They're
and
very
spread so
expensive.
quickly because it was such a great machine.
Yeah.
I can just, and it takes no strength or anything else.
Yeah,
He
you don't
has
need
other
any
designs with a gearing, so each turn gets you multiple stitches.
Really?
This one is just a single stitch to every turn. I could hook it to a treadle, but then I have to haul a piece of furniture with me.
Yeah.
It takes more space. I pick this up and I put it in its box and I go. So much easier. It does do a chain stitch, so it only has one thread. The bottom side is going to look like this,
Yeah.
and the top side will look just like any other machine that you have today.
Oh, okay. That's neat.
If you don't have the thread locked and you pull the wrong thread, it's going to come out zip. When I want it to come out, it doesn't happen.
What year was that invented?
This,
machine.
I don't know exactly what year Gib Wilcox started. The original machines were early to mid 1840s. This one is about a late 1860s, early 1870s machine. He doesn't change style. Wilcox and Gibbs, I have a one from the late 1920s. It looks exactly like this, except it's been motorized. There's a longer board, has a big honking motor there, and the foot pedal alone weighs 10 pounds.
2 cents.
So very heavy, but it was used. A friend of mine's mother and dad used it in their upholstery business in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
So when her
Dime or 10
husband died and she had to downsize, I purchased it from
That's
her.
all U.S. money
So
of the
that one has never been
1860s.
carried here, so all of the gilding and the ornateness is still there. This one you can see it in a couple
$1
places,
would be a
like
little
right
bit
here and
bigger.
then on
Look
the
like that,
inside
but it'd be
here, but
about
most of it has been
big.
worn off.
Oh, really?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. This part,
These are copies. That was real.
not the first one I've done on it, but
And
it's my next one
Oh, okay.
that it's been pieced on here.
That printed the money, paper money.
Thank you
It
so
wasn't
much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, it could only be used, like this is the Bank of Dayton, so it could only be used in the city of Dayton. It was no good anywhere else. But you got to remember, you've got coins that the U.S. government are printing. They're or not printing, but minting. They're made out of the precious metals.
Yeah.
So a dime is actually made out of silver, and it's worth 10 cents worth of silver is in that dime. Okay. So at that time, so when
At
you
that
ended
time,
up
right now.
in the gold coin, a $20 gold coin, okay, had $20 worth of gold, and at that time gold was maybe about $10 an ounce, so that was like 2 ounces of gold. Today that would be worth about $4,000 in gold.
Yeah, isn't that something?
That's just in gold.
Yes. And what's your name?
My name is Mike Marsh. We do Civil War reenacting, either as what you see here as a display, or I've at times been a soldier on that cannon.
All right, okay, you fired the cannon too. This is actual real money, huh?
So the coins here are actual real money. The paper are copies of what it would look like.
Gotcha.
Paper stuff.
It's just what it looks like.
Yeah. And of course, the Confederacy, what they did, one of our mints was in New Orleans. So basically, they took over that mint, and the front of the coin looks just like a U.S. coin. The back had the Confederate seal. Otherwise, the coin looked the same.
What's the Confederate seal is the crossbones.
It depends on the state what it looked like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're thinking of the battle flag, which is the flag right behind you, and that's the one everybody thinks of as a Confederate. It's actually what we call a battle flag.
Oh, okay.
Their federal flag looked more like our United States flag, so it had stars and it had 3 bars across it.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yep, that's what they call the stars and bars,
Okay, I've seen them.
and that's the national flag for the Confederacy.
No, I didn't know that was Confederate.
Yep, that's Confederate.
Okay, very good. And you have an old camera here, huh?
Yeah, so what we do is kind of try to help to explain how a photograph is done. Okay.
Yeah,
so
explain that.
By that time frame, so we're talking 1850 and on, the ability to do a photograph became practical. So what the photographer would do is he'd start out with a piece of tin that has like black paint on it. Okay. From that point, I have to make what I'd call film, light-sensitive material.
And that's how they got the name tin type.
Yes.
Yep.
So he'd start out with, in this jar would be a material known as collodion. It consisted of alcohol, ether, and nitrocelluloid. They used to call that gun cotton.
Gotcha.
Okay. They'd pour that on the plate until they get a nice, even coat. The ether dries quite quickly and it leaves a very sticky substance.
Okay.
Okay, it's not light sensitive yet, but it's a sticky substance. That plate then would be put into a tray that has silver nitrate. The silver nitrate is what's light sensitive.
I knew it was silver, yeah.
And that would then soak into that collodion a little bit. It took about 2 minutes to get enough of that silver nitrate to penetrate into that other chemical.
How many seconds do you have to do exposure? You know?
Exposure is anywhere from, depending on the light, 5 seconds all the way up to about 20 seconds.
Well, you have to totally stay still.
Stay still. Now, this would be light sensitive in the dark room. I'd put it inside one of these holders. It would fit inside. Now I can take this over to the camera. Okay, I put this inside the camera. The camera is a lens and a box.
Yep.
There's no shutter on the camera. Okay. So when I'm ready to take that picture, I'd open this up. I'd take the lens cap, I'd open it up, count off, and again, it depends on how much light. It might be 5-6 seconds. Then I'd close it, put my cover back on, take this back to the dark room, take the plate, and I would expose that to a chemical which would develop the image, and that was usually iron sulfite and alcohol. The image is there, I can see it, but I can't take it out in the light because it's still light sensitive. So I'd put it in another tank, and in there I'd pour a fixer, potassium cyanide.
Okay.
That would fix this image so that it's permanent. I can then just wash the plate, let it dry, and I now have a tintype or an image that I've captured.
And then it was before the Civil War. How much before the Civil War were they actually using cameras?
Photography kind of goes all the way back to the 1830s. The process is different, okay, but the camera idea, and prior to that, we didn't have film, but we would use the camera. You might focus it on, say, a nice scenery, and then the artist would do a quick sketch using that reflected light. He'd do a nice quick sketch, bring that back to the studio, and then do a painting. That goes all the way back to our president, Jefferson.
Camera Camera obscura.
Yeah, they called it, and that was a French design.
Camera obscura.
Obscura, yep.
That's quite interesting. You teach history?
I'm very interested in history. I'm
Yeah.
actually an engineer, well, a retired engineer by trade. So the ideas of technology,
Engineer,
I love to look
railroad?
at.
Railroad engineer? Or
Engine development engineer for
Oh,
Cummins Engine Company.
Cummins,
Yeah.
yes. Very, very good. Okay, sir. Very interesting talking to you.
Well, thank you.
so
Thank you.
much. And if people miss this display here, are you going to be in any other places?
Well, we've got another program that we're going to do next week up in Wisconsin at one of their historic sites. And then we'll be coming back down to Hartford City the next weekend, and we'll have a display. May not be quite this display, it might be more firearm related, but we'll have a display at Hartford City, and most likely a working Gatling gun at the same time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Craig Baumgartner. We portray Carpenter's Battery. Carpenter's Battery was formed at the very start of the war. They were an infantry gang,
Okay.
and when they went to be active in the service, they said, no, we got all the infantry we need. However, we have openings in artillery. But then they became an artillery unit early in the war. They were at some no-name battle, some little small thing or another, and they did very well. So General Stonewall Jackson decided to go over and talk to him. And he rode over there and he found out the battery commander was one of his students at VMI. So he said, and the fellow's name was Carpenter, his name was Joseph Carpenter. So he said, as of today, this battery will be known as Carpenter's Battery. And that's where we got our name. We originally had 87 men. We had 123 casualties. We were at every major battle in the East, and we were with Lee right up to the very end. At Appomattox, we were there.
And where is you, what state was this?
Virginia.
Virginia.
Now it's West Virginia, but in those days it was Virginia.
Okay.
All it took at Appomattox was a nod of the head from Robert E. Lee or from Longstreet, and they'd have gone right back to their guns. By that time, the only people left in the Confederate Army were the real hardcore, the ones that were willing to fight to the end. And Grant was really afraid of them because he knew they would have another fight, and it would be a massacre. He said, "We got to stop this," and that's when him and Lee talked about it and finally decided they had to surrender, because it would have been. The Confederates would have lost. Boy, they would have killed a bunch of Yankees before they did. And accomplished what? The war was over, the war was lost. Go to it. And then Lee surrendered. So that was our service.
And what was the main reason that we fought the Civil War?
Stupidity.
Huh?
Stupidity.
It wasn't just about
At
slavery.
the Battle of Manassas, the first battle, they went out from Washington, D.C. with picnic baskets to watch the big battle. One of them was a politician. After the battle was over, Confederate soldiers chasing him around the trees, shooting at him. Said, "You son of a bitch, you started this thing," and he's chasing him around the tree, shooting at him until they stopped him. Because he knew the politician started this stupid mess, and he's going to kill him. And then, you know, we have what's going on and for I don't know how long in Ireland with the British. Those same people came here. They went north and they went south. There's a lot of that was still bitterness was still going on there, and all kinds of reasons. And slavery, of course, was a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
It was not the sole reason, because that's been the only reason neither side would have gone to war over.
After the war, it took many, many years for people to not have so much hatred because they've lost mothers, brothers, fathers.
You know, we have World War II and stuff like that, but Civil War, every family had a loss. It wasn't some of them. It wasn't, you know, somebody on the block lost a loved one. Everybody lost a loved one. You know, that feeling's a lot different. You know, when you're actually having that loss.
Yeah.
I always found it interesting, they were at Petersburg. They're all surrounded by the Yankee Army, and they're getting letters from home, from their families. and their wives were saying, come home. The war is over. You cannot win. We are starving. We will not make it. If you don't come home, we will starve to death. That's pretty tough to stay in that army trench, and that's what you get from home. We never had any desertion problems until then. We actually considered stopping the mail because the guys were going home.
Yeah.
You know, there's no point in staying here, and my wife and kids are going to starve.
Yeah.
So I'm going home.
Oh, yeah.
Our battery, when we got to Appomattox, we had no officers left and no senior NCOs. It was commanded by a corporal. That's all it was left. And like I said, the nods from Lee or Longstreet, they were ready to go right back at it. That's pretty good dedication.
Yeah.
You learned so much about the Civil War.
Oh.
How'd you learn so much?
Spent hours and days and weeks reading everything I could.
Yeah.
And one time my daughter came home. She had to give a speech for 5 minutes. She was all upset. I was just going to talk for 5 minutes. I said, only 5 minutes? How can you talk for only 5 minutes? You know, I get up there and go for 4 hours. What do you? 5 minutes is nothing.
You're a history teacher?
Pardon?
Did you teach history?
No, I was a policeman.
Oh, okay. You just had a real interest in it.
That and the little things that swim around in the water, little devils. I chase them all the time. They get away all the time, you know.
Yeah.
I'm about ready to switch to dynamite. I think I have a better chance throwing dynamite in there. Blow a few of them to the surface.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's different, you know.
Thank you.
I always got the Confederate side because I thought the characters were so much more interesting.
Oh, okay.
You know, Lee, Stonewall Jackson, Longstreet, Stewart, Jeb Stewart.
Yeah.
Those guys were so much more fascinated with what they had on the Union side. So I always.
Actually, they had a lot of the intelligence was on the south side.
My mother is from Georgia, and to the day she died, you did not discuss the Civil War. I would ask her, do I have relatives that served in it? What do you want to know about that stuff for? Forget it, it's over. She would not discuss it any way, shape, form, or fashion. It was not over with her.
Yeah.
And that was, I always found that interesting. Because I know I had a lot of relatives that had to fight on the Confederate side. No way, we'll discuss it around her. And a lot of Southerners were that way. Some of them still are. Older people, young people don't care nothing about anything, you know.
Okay. And where was you a policeman at?
Auburn, Indiana.
Auburn. Okay.
Yeah, I retired from there. You know, all the guys I was on the department with, or when I joined the department, they were all dead but one other. Me and one other.
Really?
They were all gone. They've all gotten old and fallen over.
Yeah. And what's your name again?
Craig Baumgartner.
Greg Baumgartner. Had you came down here every year for a long time?
Oh, how many years have you been coming down here?
20.
Very good. And who do you have here with you?
That's my wife.
And
Charlene.
what's your name?
Charlene.
Charlene. And who's this gentleman?
That's how far as you go.
This is hard to go through. Okay, so what's your name?
Phil?
Phil. Okay, Phil, nice to meet you. So, yeah, we got to have both sides represented, I guess.
You know, it's Connor Prairie down in Indianapolis. We used to do one down there. And they got so politically correct, they wanted the Confederate guys not to have a flag and don't wear a gray uniform and don't talk about the Civil War.
And you couldn't use the word slave.
So come on up and give us a reenactment. What kind of a, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
It's silly.
I know, I can't tell what you're doing. Yeah.
You know, I like this part. The government has decided that they can't have these military bases named after Confederates anymore.
Yeah.
So they're thinking about what to do with one of the bases named Longstreet, after General Longstreet. So you know what they did? They made it two names, Longstreet.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that marvelous thinking on the government's part?
Yeah.
How long did that take to think that up?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's...
Okay, thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All made by the same guy.
Oh, really?
Kind of met revolvers. I know.
Oh, you did it.
Fragrance free. It
Came,
wasn't.
well, wow.
I made every piece of that.
How could you possibly do that? I mean, picture?
I was a lot younger.
Okay.
Now, the wheels on that gun weighs 185 pounds. Garage. You know, wherever you had a tool, you wanted to use something, them damn wheels are sitting in front of your tool, and you had to move them time after time. You know, so I did it all.
How long did that take?
Oh, that one there took me 8 years, only because the wood was raw. I took it to a kiln, and it was in the kiln all winter. Then I put it in the storage unit for 5 years after that before I started touching it to make sure the wood was good and dry. That box there is called a limber box. Back in the day, that was made out of walnut. That was made out of walnut. 180-year-old walnut. I can't handle that kind of weight anymore. I'm an old man. That gun over there was the last one I did. After that, I said, no more, I can't do it anymore. Actually, it was a full gun before.
Where'd you get
All the wood out
the
of it.
gun part, the actual?
Oh, they still make them.
They
Civil
still-
War artillery has never been out of production.
I didn't know that.
It's still in production today. You can still buy live shells for it.
Really?
They're about $150 a round.
Wow.
You can shoot
I
solid ball, and you can shoot canister, which is nothing but a big shotgun shell. Government don't care. You want exploding shells, you better build an addition onto your house for HCF to move into, because they're coming.
Yeah.
You can do it, but the regs are absolutely horrible.
Now the shotgun one, so it would actually, when you shot it out, it would spread out into.
Yeah, it's in a tin can.
Okay.
It would be, that far out of the barrel, that can's coming apart. And then there goes the lead balls out on the
Wow,
ring.
that's for infantry.
Yeah,
Like
just
down
shatter
there.
it.
Yeah.
And sometimes they call for double canister. The round is attached to the powder, so you put it in as one piece. Double canister, you take the round and you hit it against the wheel and knock the powder bag off. And put another can right down on top of the first one, and just tear up, shred them. It took a lot of guts to be marching across an open field and you're marching into the face of these guns.
It would.
They did a lot of it. It sure got slaughtered too. They're excellent defensive weapons, not worth a hoot on offensively.
Okay.
Boy, that looks so authentic, doesn't it?
Oh, it's perfect if you look at the drawing.
Yeah.
Every bit of it's. Even everything I did on it. I made the wheel, the nuts, the bolts. I made it all. I
Tell us
machined it
your
all out
name
myself.
What's your name again?
Craig Baumgartner.
Craig Baumgartner.
And there's other pieces I made too. So as you go to
Is there-
reenactment in this area,
Is there a way that other people might want more information from you? Is there a phone number they can reach you?
nah,
Nope. You just come here.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Hotmail, email, but I get so many crank phone calls nowadays.
Isn't that the truth?
I don't even answer it most of the
Yeah.
I
time
can't
anymore.
believe this.
Whenever you're ready, you'll take it up and hit the top. I'll fire it and come down. So on the hour, set it. I'm going off the grid.
Well, if he had all that equipment.
It's a friction climb. It's just a wire that goes into the tube. It's just like a mat. So when I pull it, it'll fire instant. There's no delay. Yep. If you have 10 guns, you call for battery fire. If everybody's on the lanyard, it'll sound like one shot. Yeah. I've actually got a video of a night fire. Angola's next weekend. Not only will we be doing a battle history, we'll also be doing a night fire. So we'll actually fire these at night. We'll put fireworks in them. In the video, if you listen, they're going to call for battery fire, 2 guns. Sounds like one shot going off. I am watching the flag. When the flag hits the top is when I will fire. Prepare. If you watch when I go to pull it, we're only pulling that wire out, so I'm only moving 2 inches. This weekend is another event, free parking up at Angola. It'll battle history in the timeline. We'll have Lincoln there, Frederick Douglass will be there. Benjamin Franklin usually shows up. We'll have the Confederate Union going head to head.
Oh, okay. It automatically focuses. Well, here's $1.
Yeah.
You've probably seen them before.
Yes, sir.
Shouldn't do this though. It's called defacing money. Yeah. Actually, I could go to jail because you have to use money over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because the bank would have to throw this away if they're really poor.
Yeah.
So this don't really tear it over here either. It's just an illusion. Okay.
Okay.
Definitely shouldn't do this.
Yeah, you're definitely, this is an expensive trick.
I can taste the mint.
Okay. Oh, wow.
He's good.
Wow, that was good.
That was good.
Sure. That
was good.
That definitely got me.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
You're good. Lauren,
Lauren, you're at the East.
The East Central Fire and EMS Territory.
Very good. And you're here helping people in case they have problems.
Yep.
How many of them are you that's here today?
There were 5 of us here.
5 of them. Oh,
There's a couple, one of them is from Parkview. She works on their EMS service, and then the rest of us are with East Central.
Good. We're so glad you're here to help people. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay. Ice cream. ROTC.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. And how long you been in ROTC?
I've personally been in for 4 years.
And I've been in for 2.
2 years. What's your ranks?
Cadet captain.
I'm a cadet sergeant.
Very good. Very good. What would you recommend this for people?
Absolutely. It gives you a very good sense of community. It really helps you to learn how to communicate with people, and it really gets you outside your comfort box to experience new things.
Does it help prepare you if you want a military life?
Definitely.
I'd say it definitely does.
If you do drill or our Raider team, those two really correlate together because there's a lot of drill. I know there's a lot of marching. And then the Raiders is just boots on the ground, getting muddy and all sorts of fun
sounds
stuff.
like fun. Yeah. Sounds like a lot of fun. And how do people get a hold of you if they want to join?
To join, you do have to be a part of Concordia Lutheran High School.
Okay.
Through that, it is a class that you can take. That when you take the class, you're not really in any extracurriculars like Raiders, robotics, drill. You do have to sign up for those.
Okay.
So those are optional. But the class itself is really, really good. It teaches you a lot of discipline.
Okay, but you have to actually belong to
Concordia Lutheran High School.
Concordia Lutheran.
Yes, sir.
And the ones that are watching that belongs to Concordia Lutheran, how do they get a hold of you?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
How do they get a hold of you, the people that go to Concordia?
So what they do is at Concordia Lutheran High School, we have a day where you can go for incoming 8th graders or going possibly. So a bunch of Lutheran schools bring in their 8th graders, and we kind of show them what we stand for, what we do as a group, and see if we can just catch their interest at all.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what's your names again?
Aiden Doan.
Evan Grenard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say it again.
Faith.
Faith. Okay. And tell us about your jewelry.
We make these we make all these necklaces.
You actually helped in making it?
Some of these, most of them I didn't make. I wasn't with my family when we were making these, but we make those. We make the earrings. My grandpa makes all of this, and yeah. Oh, yeah. And my uncle.
Very good.